5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up? My name is the Carter712, and in today's video, we're going over my key bindings, as well as a few settings that I think you guys should definitely check out in Splitgate 2. We'll go over basics such as keybinds and sensitivity, but there are a couple settings in here that I think you guys should definitely try out that I think could help you guys win some games in the future. So if you do like the video and you are enjoying the content you see here, do me a little favor, hit that like down below and let me know that you want to see more Splitgate 2 content, and also hit that sub so you can keep up with all the videos that we have coming out here on the channel. All right, got that out of the way. Now let's do what we're all here for. Let's go over some keybinds and some settings. All right, we're over here on Splitgate 2 now, and if we go up into the top right corner, we can navigate down to the little settings cogwheel here, and that'll bring us into our video settings. This first page is going to be very dependent on your system, what graphics card you have, what CPU you have. So what I suggest here is just kind of go with the default that the game suggests for you, and maybe if you need to, turn down some settings a little bit to give yourself a little bit of a boost in your FPS. As far as like the resolution, the frame generation, the low latency, I have both of these on off and this on TAA. I'm not exactly sure what those do. The main thing that we're going to go over today is our inputs for our keybinds. We are on mouse and keyboard here, so I will not have any settings or help here for controller. But let's go over our keybinds and our settings here for mouse and keyboard. So the first thing that we got here for mouse and keyboard is our horizontal and our vertical sensitivities. I play on like a standard 800 DPI, and I have been running a 3.45. I think it standard defaults at a 5, and I've slowly kind of moved it down a little bit. I went down pretty far to like a 2, I think, when I was running shotguns and pistols. We've kind of bumped it back up a little bit as we've been getting more back into the battle royale and everything, and we're kind of having to move around a little bit faster. The zoom sensitivity multiplier, I leave that at 1. Invert horizontal, invert vertical, definitely not doing that. I do have auto sprint on and auto jetpack on. But that is going to do it for us here in this little section of the keyboard and mouse settings. But if we come up here to binds, we can go to the little customize button here. It is kind of hidden, so if you hover over it, you can see it highlights. Click into the customize, and here is where we have our presets. All right, so the first key binding that I have changed is crouch to hold, and I have that on my mouse 4 button on the side, so that way I have quick access with my thumb. And I use the hold just because it allows you to peek from behind small covers super easily. You can sit there and pop up and down super fast. I do have crouch toggle on my left control. That way, if there is a time in a fight or something where I just need to kind of sit back and heal, I can do the crouch toggle. That's always an option. And we don't have anything set on sprint toggle because we are using auto sprint, so we don't need anything on the sprint toggle or the sprint hold. Otherwise, jump, move left, move right, move backward, move forward. That's all your standard WSAD and space. If we scroll down here to the next section, this is where we have the portals. I do create portal alternating on my scroll up on my mouse. It makes it super easy to access. You can go from shooting, and it's right there with your aiming. It feels super natural. Close portals both I have on my other mouse button. I think it just makes it super easy to access with the thumb. I'm not moving my hands around or anything like that, and you can cast the portal and close the portal without having to like have a whole lot of movement around different keybinds or anything like that. Then we can keep scrolling down a little bit further. We have some more miscellaneous settings. With interact, I have set to E just because I'm used to that from other games. Ping, I have set to C. Inspect weapon, I have on I. Push to talk is T. Text chat, enter. Scoreboard, tab. Comms wheel, B. All that stuff is very standard. The next section we have is combat. With the cycle weapon forward, I have that set on F since I have some other things that we went over earlier set to the scroll wheel. I don't have a cycle weapon backward. I just use F to go back and forth between the two. Use equipment, I have on left shift because my pinky is always sitting there on shift, so we're ready to go with that. Melee, I have on my scroll down, so that way we can set portals, and as we're going through, we can melee, or it makes it super easy while you're also in gunfights. Fire weapon, aim down sights, those are standard. Reload standard, faction ability standard, and equip primary and secondary weapons are also standard on 1 and 2. All right, so now that we went over all of the standard key bindings and everything, let's get into the two things that I think could be huge for you guys to help you guys maybe win some games. The first thing that we're going to go over is pretty standard. This one's not too crazy, but the accessibilities. Go through and change your multi-team colors. I know the default is set with like a red and an orange that are very similar, and it makes it super difficult to like tell the difference between some of the teams. So just set these in here to something that you're going to be able to really differentiate, and I think it'll help you a ton in those games. Go down here into your crosshairs and set up your crosshair color to a different color. I use this pink color. It's one of the standard ones, and I think it stands out very well on a lot of the maps. Another thing that I'm trying out right now that I think is super cool is the crosshair enemy color. So what this is going to do is when you're playing the game, as you scan over an enemy with your gun, your crosshair is going to start out as your standard color here, and it's going to switch to this color down here. You just look for that little color change, pull the trigger, and you're most likely going to get the hit. I did go through and change a lot of my crosshairs down here. I like to use this shiny plus here, and I use that for all of my ARs, SMGs, pistols, and stuff like that. Other than the split stream, I do use the more shotgun, which is the circle dot. I stick to these two crosshairs other than with the bat here, and I think it works super well. Long distance weapons, I'm using this as well as for the shotguns, and then we're using that little cross for all of our SMGs and assault rifles and pistols. And so far for me, it's been working out super well. One thing you do want to do, the main thing here, I think, show sprint crosshair, turn it off. This thing, I don't know why it's on. When you're running in game, you'll get a crosshair change that goes to a little vertical up arrow, and it takes away your standard crosshair that you have set for all your weapons. Turn this off and it's going to help you a ton. It's going to keep your crosshair on the crosshair that you have set, and it's not going to constantly switch back and forth as you're moving. Well, that pretty much does it for settings in Splitgate 2. Let me know down in the comments if you're excited to try any of these out, or if you got a suggestion for a setting change for us in the future. But that's going to do it here for me. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.